ought not hand over leadership of your movement to the crazies, and that when you make room for the crazies, when you refuse to condemn the crazies, when you massage the crazies, you actually end up granting them an unearned leadership position and making them essentially immune from criticism, which gives them an upper hand. And this is exactly what happened pragmatically to the
Most Americans do not want a rematch between Biden and Trump. The first party to retire its 80-year-old candidate is going to be the party that wins this election.
I met Tucker. We've talked a lot.
Look, Trump's not a conservative. He's an authoritarian narcissist. So I think they basically called him out for that. He's a populist authoritarian narcissist. So historically speaking, all of his tendencies are, basically where narcissism takes him.
So I guess the direct question is, do you believe that Donald Trump is unfit to serve as president and should be removed from office?
I believe that the act he took, an effort to corrupt an election, is as destructive an attack on the oath of office and on our Constitution as I can imagine. It is a high crime and misdemeanor within the meaning of the Constitution, and that is not a decision I take lightly.
Thank you very much for joining us. Explain to us why you decided to vote for impeaching President Trump.
Well, look, this is a heavy day for America, but it's been really heavy for America prior to the election, but more importantly, after the election, when the president began using the 4 years of having developed this argument and began executing on this idea that democracy doesn't work. The election was stolen. Of course, I had predicted violence for weeks leading up to the 6th, but the 6th was the culmination, hopefully the culmination of that violence coming to here. And look, when you have the president of the United States, the Article 2 part of the Constitution, incite and send and ignite a mob to attack at the Article 1 branch, that is nothing short of an insurrection.
I think those suburban voters like Donald Trump more since January 6th. I mean, good grief. They didn't vote for him this last time. They're not going to vote for him again. So I try to make more of a practical argument to would-be Trump supporters that we lose with the guy, pick somebody else. I'd say if I had to bet, it'd be Biden, because if it's Biden-Trump, I think Biden wins. I personally would rather not see that. I would rather see a Republican win, not named Donald Trump.
Trump supporters for a minute. What is Donald Trump's campaign about? He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell. If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem.
Irrespective of the indictment, I want the American people to know that I had no right to overturn the election. And then on that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution, but I chose the Constitution.
Marjorie Taylor Greene continues to lob rhetorical bombs at her own political party. The latest salvo came during an interview with the Washington Post, where the GOP congresswoman decried what she says are a lot of weak Republican men in Congress who are afraid of strong Republican women like herself. The Georgia congresswoman took particular issue with House Speaker Mike Johnson, accusing him of refusing to appoint female Republicans to chair House committees. It's the latest in a string of breaks with her own party.